Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to continue building this city, and this part in general is going to be about the thing we mentioned last time, which is go from citizen to household. And then we will implement this vehicle as a class. And then finally we're going to start looking into some pathfinding. So we can see we actually have a pretty decent sized framework or collection of objects. We talked a little bit about the action objects last time, and these are the ones that were initially in the graphical user interface object, and it didn't make sense to have them there for further development. So the graphical user interface now only is drawing a very small amount of things, which is fine. Okay, so as I said, we're going to put the citizens instead of a single citizen into a house. It's going to be a household. So we're going to create an object, household. And this object is going to have a list of citizens inside of it. So we're going to say household, list. It's going to be a list of instance references to all the objects in the family. And I want as well today, I want to draw a little cute person. That should be absolutely fine. It's just to have a little bit of something. So the next part is when we're going in the citizen creator. It's actually not going to be a citizen creator anymore, it's going to be a household creator. And I think I would like to change the name of this, demand handler. And so in here, instead of putting in just a single citizen, we're going to create a household. We want to create, we're going to say, we make a single point for where the household is being created. We're going to make an I-random range between. If we create them all at the same place, you're not going to be able to see them all. So what we're going to do is we're going to scatter them a little bit with some randomness. Or we actually can just move them depending on that I that we have up here. Minus plus I times 32. Yeah. Then we'll say DS list as household system. Okay. We're going to go in the demand handler. Now in here we instead of creating one citizen, we're going to now create a household. So household. There we go. And these don't need any position or anything like that. Okay, we go back into the household. So the household, it should also have a home. So home. So here, okay. Go up here, back in here. And then we say household.home. Okay. And here we can just add, a list to the list, I believe. Let's try and see. I'm actually not sure if this would work, but we could in principle say household dot household, and then it would add the references to the citizens into this list. Not sure if that's how it works, but we can try and see in a second when we test out the new functionality. So now we're creating a household. We're giving them the house. Now we're going to go back into the citizen here because this house is not being set anymore, right? So this is going to result in an error. So now we're going to say if home is equal to -1, okay? We're going to end this with another exit. Then we check our household, okay? So our citizens, of course, needs to have a household that they are attached to. So now they have a home and a household is equal to also -1. And so when the household is created, we give with citizen. Yeah. See, so now do like this. With citizen, household is equal to self other. I think if you say other, it refers to itself. I'm creating a citizen and setting myself as the household. I think that should make sense. Yeah. Perhaps I should refactor in terms of these variables because there are some variables that are that have the same name now. Um, but okay, let's try to go back in here again. If household.home is not equal to this, then set home equal to household.home. So it updates itself. Okay, let's try and see. I have a feeling that this should work, but it's really difficult to say. Okay, so now we can set a house, and a person is coming in. Lovely. There's just one. Let's try again. If more people wants to move in. There we go. There's a family of 3 moving in now. Let's just create a few more houses. Great. All right. So the next step is to create the vehicle class. So let's do that. And we are going to simply duplicate it and call it vehicle pedestrian. Okay. And actually, the pedestrian object is the one who's going to carry this sprite, and not the citizen. So the citizen is actually going to only be a carrier for all the variables of the citizen itself, and then the pedestrian is going to be the world object that is going to walk around in the city. So first of all, we're going to have this vehicle as a parent, and there's one single variable that I would like to define in the vehicle, and that is capacity is equal to 1. And that's as a default set. Capacity is equal to 1. Okay? And that's also what's happening here. First, let's remove the sprite from here because there's no need for it. So instead, in the demand handler of creating a citizen, we are going to create a vehicle. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not going to be in this one. It's going to be in the household. Or in fact, it should actually be completely separate. Okay, so here we create the citizen and we add it to the household. All that is great. So we're gonna copy this. We're gonna say vehicle pedestrian, and then more than capacity, we are actually also going to set passengers is equal to a list. So we're gonna say, and then what's it called? Passengers. And then we go into the citizen, and then in the step event here, remove this down here to the pedestrian. So this is going to be also when we're going to start working on the pathfinding, it's going to be down here, and that's a big reason why I want this to be in this class by itself. So of course now this home is not defined for the vehicle, but what we're going to do instead is we are going to inherit the event, and then we're going to create something called target. Okay, and that's just going to be an object or nothing here for now. Okay, so let's see here. If target is, that's just how we're going to do it. This is a really simple way of writing optimized code, you might say. So, and then instead of home here, we just simply have target. Okay, and so when we create our vehicle here in the demand handler, no, in the household, sorry, we give it the target immediately. Okay, so let's see here. So we create this here, and then we say yeah. So I think actually in here, we're gonna create the residents, the pedestrians. Okay, So let's create a for loop. And we can go in to the, I believe it is in here. Yeah. So here, right, we can copy this. And we were gonna remove it later, but I'm just gonna keep it for now. There we go. Yeah, and then we're gonna go back now into the, let's see here. So this is in the create event of the household itself. So here we're going to do like so. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work because I think maybe I forgot something, but let's try and see here. If I create a house. Yep. Okay, there's a mistake. Citizen not set in the demand handler. Huh. So for every person in the household, we address the person, we create a pedestrian vehicle for them. We add the citizen ID into the passenger list for the vehicle, and we set the vehicle's target to the respective house. Let's try and see if this works. Okay, let's see. We create a house. There's a mistake. I'm trying to oh yeah, there's, oh yes, it's because I need, there's like some, what is it, DS list. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. So now, okay, great. All right, so the next step is to begin pathfinding. And the first step is to implement a restriction on building the houses. So when building the houses, I want there to be a restriction that is, we need to be at a certain distance to a road before we can build a house. And that is because I want to calculate, when we create a road or a house, the closest point for a house to a road so that we can connect them. Later we're going to have the passengers pathfind. Okay, so we're going to say point distance, but we need to find. Actually, an easier thing to do is to just make a collision circle around a larger area. Collision circle. The radius should be, I like to establish a decent amount of freedom. So we want this to be, we want this to not be no one, right? So we're gonna copy this here, okay? And just literally do the same here. And we are also going to say draw circle. And there we go. So let's try and see. So now you can see I cannot create a house, but if I build a road first, now I can create a house close to the road. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And that's a very simple implementation that actually could do a lot. And so the next idea is for the pathfinding to see, is there a way for me to transport myself to the house that is faster than just walking in a straight path, right? And one way to kind of encourage road, like walking on the roads, is to say, okay, if you're walking on nothing, it's gonna be slower than if you walk on the path, right? So we're going to have a closest point to the house, which is the target, and we're going to have a closest point to the closest road point to the pedestrian itself that it is now, and then see, does that make sense, to follow that path. Let's just try and see here. I'm gonna create. I you know what I'm gonna do? I want to fix this right now because there's something wrong with that. Yeah, so this is the issue, right? Um, yeah, if there's any node at all, then it should be able to snap. To create. Oh, pay. Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, so for some reason this creating of the nodes has completely disregarded if it's starting from a node itself. I don't know how. I think that got lost when I was refactoring. So that's my bad. You're okay. Right. So this with the snap node situation, we're just gonna copy this entire thing and actually, yep, with this as well. Yep. This is not. This should be. Wait, what? Well, this doesn't really make sense when it's in the create event. So closest node to mouse should be equal to 0. So, and that should definitely help. I mean, the snapping definitely works now, right? As you can see. I don't know what's going on with the colors, but yeah, so there's something going on there. It's probably just projects. See, it's because it does not get back. It does not get re-updated to not snapping. I, for some reason, have not updated both values. Perhaps I didn't think I should, but I definitely should. Let's should reset to false here. Let's try again. Yes. There we go. That was the problem.
The fascination of life, the fascination of game, is the unknown result, not the known result.